Good morning, everybody. I think that not most of you, but some of you know me. My name is Tatiana Campos, and I'm here to talk a little bit about trends and innovations in our sector, in the juice sector. The agenda today will start just introducing IFU because many of you may not know us, and it's also a long name, as we say, International Fruit and Vegetable Juice Association. So sometimes people just think, what is IFU? So I think it's important for everybody to understand, also to know what we do for the juice industry. Then we go straight to the point, talking about the markets and some consumers insights that we are seeing, and then the final key takeaways. And I would like to take this opportunity to really thank one of our strategic partners, members, Dollar Group, that has made available the slides and the information so we could present here very, very interesting and updated information. So thank you, Dollar. Our president is also from Dollar Key School, so that's why you always support us, and we recognize that. Thank you so much. And if you want to know more about Dollar, in my presentation that I believe that Sebastian will share afterwards, you can also access here some information. So, getting to know us, the IFU, as I said, is International Fruit and Vegetable Juice Association. We are actually celebrating this year our 75th anniversary. It was founded in 1949 in Paris, France. And our mission is to serve as a global voice of the fruit and vegetable juice industry, championing the production and consumption of juices and related products worldwide. And just for you to understand, this is something that we are usually asked, well, what is IFU, what the other organizations are. We are, in a sense, collaborating and working together with also several other national associations, and all of those mentioned there are actually IFU members. And each one of us has our own advocacy plans and also our role to foment, to strengthen the industry. Here's the AIGN, which is the European one, just also an overview of all the other associations that they have inside the organization. And here I have a very short video, it's 2 minutes, but it really explains in a nutshell what we do and also how we are working with the JUICE members.
Do you know the IFU? The International Fruit and Vegetable Juice Association, IFU, is a global entity that represents the juice sector with over 200 members in 80 countries. The IFU has commissions and working groups that provide a network of professionals throughout the whole juice value chain, responsible for producing IFU resources such as methods of analysis, best practice guidance, recommendations, and global reports on the juice market and sustainability. The commissions and working groups are as follows: Methods of Analysis Commission, Legislation Commission, Science and Technology Commission, Sustainability Working Group, Microbiological Working Group, Nutrition Working Group. The commissions and working groups monitor the market and enable the sector to participate and influence the debate on sensitive issues for the production chain. The IFU also represents the sector in important forums and organizations such as FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, World Health Organization, World Trade Organization, and Codex Alimentarius, among others. The IFU also works towards the adoption of best practices by providing access to methods of analysis and market recommendations. Additionally, we organize industry reports such as the Sustainability Report. Our associates have exclusive access to one of the main and most comprehensive market reports, the Juice Global Market. The organization also annually promotes several exclusive events, which allow for expanding the network of relationships among the associates, as well as obtaining information and sharing knowledge about various points of interest related to this market. Indeed, in this manner, the IFU promotes international cooperation, provides technical and scientific guidance on fruit juice production, and encourages the sustainable development of the juice market. Sharing knowledge globally.
So we have actually to start updating this video because now we are almost 300 members. So I have to do this small update. Today we are 287 members, and out of our members there, as I said, we have associations, national associations, but also corporate companies such as Dollar, also Biomeria, and many others that are either producing and juices, but also involved in the supply chain as suppliers, also universities, and so on. And as the video showed, we are the global voice. We represent the industry within before the several international bodies, and also we also have a lot of chemical and microbiological methods that my colleague Ansane is going to address them more in details in the next presentation. So going to the topic now that now you know us, what are the main consumer market and consumer insights that we have been seeing so far? We have selected four main trends to present, introduce you to today. So the first one is what it's called affordable values, and the second is sustainability, which is actually not new, but I mean still there, and you know it's not leaving so soon. Then we have, you know, some impacts of this new generation or the Generation Z and how they are choosing their products and what are the main values that are driving them. And finally, the post-pandemic health, which has been something that the juice industry has accompanied a lot lately, especially because it has a lot to do with immunity. And we know, due to the studies that we have, you know, and all the work that we do in nutrition, that the fruit juices can contribute a lot, you know, to gut health and also to immunity in general. Okay, so the first one is affordable value. So this is just the result of a research done collected by Dynata. I think it was 11 countries, you know, in several continents. Several thousands people were interviewed, and of course, this shows that there is a global, or you know, has been a global concern in terms of the inflation. I mean, to talk about affordability, this is not new. I mean, I'm Brazilian. I come from Latin America. When you talk about food in the region, I mean, you can go and discuss, you know, everything from taste, from, you know, trends. But if you cannot afford the food in the end, I mean, it's you won't reach the consumer. You won't reach the big values you need. So, but that I think that's now really a global concern. And here in this research that they did, I mean, they found out that 49% of consumers, they strongly believe that we are entering a recession. I mean, so it's not, people are not feeling so confident anymore about the economy, and with all the situation that we are currently seeing, the world, the wars and so on. Also then, therefore, they are taking action to reduce costs and to reduce spending, and but also some, you know, still struggling even to maintain, you know, their lifestyle and to have access even to basic needs. And what does this mean when we talk about, okay, what is then happening in the juice industry and also in another industry? This is also a momentum from private label, and we are seeing more and more brands, you know, and coming up. But also, which it's also relevant, is that this is not alone. I mean, the consumer, they are looking for uh, products that are cheaper, but also that can address also their main concerns and their values. And this is what it's. That's why we are calling it like affordable value. It's not a matter, just a matter of being getting the price right, but also addressing the needs of these consumers. So here's some interesting data that has been collected by several research, you know, Dynadata and Mintel. 60% of global consumers are buying cheaper products or seeking out more coupons and discounts as a result of rising inflation. You know, in 22, 63% of global consumers say that they are looking to reduce spend on food and drink, and 38% of global consumers are seeking out more private label products. This was in 2001, an increase of 10% since 2019. And of course, because there is this link between affordability, price, and values, also the private labels, they are positioning themselves also in line with those consumer values. So when we see the products that retailers are putting out there in the markets, you see that more and more they are using several environmental and ethical claims. And this is just an overview of the main ones. And here you see, for example, carbon neutral, ethical claims regarding labor, sustainability, packaging, and so on. And this is really a combination that needs to happen. And what is interesting, and that this research points out, and I thought particularly interesting, is that, well, we have at the moment this situation where we have a Generation Z coming and being very concerned about several aspects of that we are going to talk a little bit later. But on the other hand, still, who is buying, making the shop is still the boomers, the other generations that they are, still they are looking more at prices. So what it's the main key message here is, yes, you have to think about affordability, but still looking and having in mind the importance of the values to these consumers. So those things, they cannot be either or, they have to really go in line and go together. Then, of course, I mean, sustainability. This is no trend anymore, I would say. It's not news. I mean, we've been talking about that for a while now. But here are some interesting data that was collected by Mintel regarding, okay, what are the top, environmental concerns of consumer, comparing 2022 and 2021. I mean, climate change is, of course, the main one, followed by water shortage, and these are actually in a way linked. And also, what it's interesting is to see, it's okay, everybody's concerned, everybody understands that sustainability is important, but what are actually they doing? So this is also some interesting data that they collected. So the main actions taken by consumers was that they are trying to avoid to avoid food waste. And here, this is very interesting because the juice industry actually contributes a lot to avoid food waste. I mean, if I don't know if any of you have been in an orange factory, in a process, in an orange producing a processor at an orange processor, or have had this experience of seeing how an orange juice is produced. But the orange is actually 100% used. I mean, you produce the juice, you produce all the byproducts. So I mean, when we're talking about the juice industry and food waste, it's really a message that it's there, that we just need to communicate to consumer, but because our industry, we really contribute in that direction. Also, they want to try to find more environmentally friendly food and beverage brands. So they are watching that closely. They choose more environmentally friendly products over others, and they try to reduce, water consumption. And what is also important here is that more and more consumers, they are paying close attention to supply chains and how products are actually produced, and the importance of transparency. Again, this is not news, but not necessarily new, but I mean, there are some interesting recent data from Mintel 2022 where they found out, like here, 75% of consumers globally are willing to pay extra for food and drink products with a shortened supply chain. But on the other hand, which is also interesting, 60% of the consumers globally expect from retailers and brands to ensure that store aisles are kept full when it comes to essentials. So the consumer he wants short supply chains, but he also wants to buy everything that he used to buy. So it's always in a way a balance there. And 58% expect retailers and brands to launch more sustainable products. So they are really expecting this from the industry in general. 51% of the consumers globally have eaten more local food and drink products in the past months. And here also, this is just an example of how some companies are really trying to be transparent about not only their value chain, but also some changes that may happen in terms of sourcing, or even in this case, in the example of this product, even the price that was has been increased. uh, and here it's also interesting to see, okay, what I want and what I do, right? Because sometimes there is a gap there. What I envision, what I want, what is important, and what I actually do when I go and have to shop with. And here they did this analysis. I mean, they say 68% I try to buy from local companies where possible, and 54%, actually bought something from a local shop. Okay. And in all this context, I think the main claim still, or a very strong claim currently, is the carbon footprint one, and brands are using it and are addressing that topic. And so also here some data from 22 from Mintel. So 64% of consumers globally changed their lifestyle in the past 2 years to reduce carbon footprint. So this is something that is coming more and more, that you see not only in the food industry but in general. No, I mean, that companies are really trying to communicate how they are mitigating their footprint impact and so on. Okay, so now also another relevant trend is an aspect is this new, I mean, this the Generation Z, and they are the ones that are shaping the here and now. And this is just an overview of how we were last year. So we reached to 8 billion humans, and this is more or less how it is divided. Now you see in orange here the Generation Z, and that are born between 1995 until 2009. I mean, today they have from 12 to 26 years old, and they represent, 23% of the total population, right? And so, and what do they want? So I would say they want, I mean, everybody wants everything, right? So, but I mean, they want easy access, variety, security, and authenticity. Again, they want to trust, they want to be informed, they want transparency. Also, they are more concerned about their health. They have more information also. So sometimes this can be even overwhelming. I mean, if you start listening and watching and reading everything, suddenly you just stop eating, because in the end, any there's always something that makes you not so healthy. But still, so they are seeking out information about that more and more, and this has become from a niche maybe trend to a mainstream one. Also, and this is very interesting for the juice industry, 76% want beverages with natural ingredients without chemical additives. And I think here it's also a very good opportunity, because juices, of course, people consume them as a single strain, I mean, as a product, but also juices are mainly used in several other foods and beverages, and should be used more and more. I've started seeing, for example, beers that are using apple juice, new products that are really taking the juices and putting and adding it to add more flavor, but still without added sugars, or still without chemicals. So this is actually a very good news for us. Then 73% also want reduced sugar drinks or no sugar at all. Here also we are seeing in the industry all the reduced sugar juices, and how this category is actually being discussed also here in Europe. For some of you that have been with us yesterday, we mentioned the European Fruit Juice Directive that is in the process of including this new category here in Europe, and this will be the first step to then, of course, to discuss that at international level, at the Codex and so on. So this is a new opportunity as well in terms of innovation for the industry, and also here all the trends, like prefer alternative to sugars like stevia. They want a vitamin boost, and here we see brands exploring shots, immunity shoot, immunity gut health, and gut health also in line with that. And finally, something that we will have a slide because the numbers are actually interesting. This trend, so to say, regarding reducing the consume of alcohol, which is also something that it's been very clear. And okay, how is this generation actually what are they watching, how brands are trying to communicate with them? I don't need to say, of course, social media, also no news. I think that the main what the additional thing that I could share today maybe is like it's that they today there is it's more clear that, for example, in the case of TikTok, the videos that really go well are the ones that show consumers this you can do it very easily. So for example, are recipes that anyone can see and I can find those ingredients very easily in my supermarket. I can also do this myself very fast, very easy. So those are the videos that in 1 minute that the consumers see and this I can do, and then it motivates them to go to the supermarkets, acquire the ingredients and try at home. So this is like what is trending right now. And finally, the last main, trend, which is also not so new, it's this post-pandemic health. We at the juice industry, when COVID hit, I mean, we saw, the consumption of, juices, especially, for example, orange juice. I was a company that more at that time, was going down, down, or stable. And then we had COVID, and then suddenly we saw a peak, especially in the US. So the COVID really reminded people, oh my God, yes, orange juice, it has vitamin C, so it's really something that it happened. So now the challenge is, okay, how we keep this and don't let consumers forget about that. I mean, the juice industry has today a very important program, the Fruit Juice Science Center. I invite you all, if you don't know it, to visit their website because they really collect a lot of scientific data addressing, the health benefits of choices. We also have, a nutrition working group that is led by Ensane, and there we also finance. There was a very important research done by the Parma University, collecting also, a lot of scientific data about impact of fruit juices in health. And this is now made available. I mean, anyone can download, this research. It's a really good research because it clearly shows that fruit juices have either no impact or a good impact on health. So it's nobody's getting sick or and fat because of fruit juices. And I mean, I knew that, but now we have data also to prove that. So also here are the main ones that this research done by Euromonitor collected, and this is interesting. I mean, gut health more and more present, weight still there, and also energy. And we've been seeing, especially in the energy and the gut health. Also, I mean, we are discussing at the IFU the role of fibers and how to relate those. So this is also for us very interesting. And one thing that's also interesting to note is like this consumer, as I said, of course, everybody wants everything. So they want to, less sugar, but they want the same taste. Or it needs to be tasty, it needs to be good in the end. I mean, so this is interesting, this research that showed that 50% of consumers say their view of sugar changed in recent years, and 50% agreed that products with less sugar are less tasty. So that's also interesting. And here's some data, and you can take a look at that after in more detail when you get the presentation. I'm not going to go through all those numbers. And here, finally, this is interesting. It's not necessarily related to juices, but it's this trend. But I wanted to bring it to you because I think this is something more new in the sense, not so new, but the data is really confirming what we were seeing a couple of years before. That is the reasons to reduce alcohol. And here we have also some research done by collected through Euromonitor and Google Trends and other research centers, showing that 71% of consumers are actually more conscious about health. I mean, this is no new, but Also, the 42% thought they drank too much alcohol, and they now want to reduce alcohol. They believe that by reducing their consumption of alcohol, they also can improve their mental health. And of course, nobody likes hangovers, and maybe so 36% also say that I don't like the effects of alcohol, so I'll try now to reduce it. And this is actually a market that is growing, and the projections are really high. I mean, as you see, this is a category that is expected to grow by 25, $30 billion. So those are things that are actually very interesting. And also here it's just a few products that have been in the market. For example, from beers, which I've tasted when I was pregnant, and I mean when I was pregnant, the beers that no alcoholic beers in Brazil, at least they were like not good. Now we have more. I mean now we have more options, and now I see that we have an even gin alcohol free that. So it's really something that is coming, and the innovation is there, and the companies are trying to really offer all the range of possibilities to their consumers. So, which are the main key takeaways in terms of juice and juice drinks? The first one, again, functionality, not new, but here we are talking about, gut health, immunity, relaxation, energizing, protein and fiber. Also, not new, but still relevant and must be in everyone's mind, sustainability. So companies, investing in certification, also new formats, the carbon neutral claims, and also upcycling. Again, here experience, and this relates a lot with what we discussed about the generations Z, the limit, some companies doing some limited editions, using social medias also to promote their products, influencer marketing and so on, seasonality, new taste, the importance of taste, of course, always. Also plant-based. Here juices also have an advantage. We are a plant-based product, but we can also be added to other plant-based products. So here's an example of almond milk and other oat, hazelnut or coconut milks. And finally, the sugar reduction. And now we see more and more, as I said, low caloric fruit and vegetable juice, but also this, upcoming technologies to really make, reduce sugar reduced juices, 100% reduced juices. And this is just an overview, a final one of, I'm not going to go into that a lot, but you can also have this information afterwards and maybe take a look at the numbers. And that's it. I would like to thank again Dollar for making all those data available for us so we could share with you today. And here is my LinkedIn. For those who are not connected with me, feel free to use the QR code, and I stay at your disposal. Thank you so much.